Hello all, my name is Andre Miller, and this is Charles Clinton, and welcome to the second edition of Opinions I Like.
Today we're going to be talking about our all-time NBA starting five, seeing as that it's the NBA Finals right now between the San Antonio Spurs and the Miami Heat. What do you think about that right now?
I got the Spurs in 6.
I don't really know who's going to win, but I know that series is going to go 7 games because after seeing that first game and how well both teams competed, I think it's going to go to 7 games, and it's a toss-up to me.
Well, in order for it to go 7 games, everybody has to perform. The big three,
On
LeBron,
both teams.
Bosh, yeah. But more importantly for Miami, I believe.
Yes.
Because without their big three, they can't just do it with LeBron and their role players.
I will admit that the Spurs do have more of a bench, but the Miami has been able to overwhelm most of their opposition with their star power. And if they can do that for at least 3 games, I think they've got a shot at making it a 7-game series.
Well, they're going to have to do something about putting somebody in front of Tony Parker. Because when he gets into that lane, he causes a lot of havoc. All your offensive three-point shooters are in their place and position. And then you still have Tim Duncan and Manu doing their thing too. So I just think it's going to be difficult for Miami to extend the series.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be
Manu
a 6-game
Ginobili
series.
had a great second half in the first game, but Tony Parker did not have a great game up until like the last couple seconds of game 1.
That's what counts.
Yes, it
That's all
did
he
in this
needs.
case, but like he can't have a game like that and expect for the team to win.
Watch the young guns for San Antonio, Leonard and Green. They're going to put their foot into this series.
And also expect Birdman Anderson to play a very big role in trying to slow down Tim Duncan.
Yes, I love Birdman. I mean, he's a good role player.
The Mohawk needs to step up.
He does need to step up. And while we're talking about NBA championships, I wanted to talk about the formats. Now, right now, there's a 2-3-2 format.
Yes.
Okay. Well, before 1985, there was a 2-2-1-1-1 format.
Yes, similar to the NHL nowadays.
Yes. I think 1949, 1953 to 1955 was the 2-3-2 format too. But also in 1975 and 1978, there was a 1-2-2-1-1 format. Okay. And in 1956 and 1971, there was a 1-1-1-1-1-1-1 format. So that would have been interesting. A lot of travel time there.
Would have been a lot of travel time between Milwaukee and Baltimore, and the Milwaukee Bucks won that series. The only championship for Oscar Robertson, who is actually my starting point guard on my honorable mentions team. Oscar Robertson was the man who revolutionized the point guard position in the 60s. He averaged triple doubles in a lot of games. He single-handedly changed the way the game was played from that position. Now, for shooting guard, I got Reggie Miller, the winning time man. He, made Spike Lee cry at Madison Square Garden. And he was the best backcourt defender of the 1990s. He did not let anybody try to drive on him, not even Michael Jordan. He would foul Michael Jordan consistently, and he was not afraid to do that. Magic Johnson is my small forward. Magic Johnson, the ultimate utility player in NBA history. You could put him at anywhere on the court, and he would be successful. Julius Erving, the doctor of dunkology, Dr. J. The man could play just unlike any other. He made the game flashy, he made it fun to watch, and he did just amazing things. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the all-time scoring leader in NBA history, and you just cannot say enough about how his durability, how he could play, how he could win games for you, and his perseverance as well, and especially toward the end of his career, and how he was able to just keep at it for as long as he did.
Okay. I do like that team, but there's a few things that I disagree with you on. First of all, my point guard is Isaiah Thomas. Now, I do love Oscar Robertson. I think he did change the game. He averaged a triple-double one season, which was just phenomenal. But Isaiah Thomas, this little soldier,
Yes.
has a huge heart, first of all. He was a consummate point guard, in my opinion. He could break down the defense and decide if he wanted to shoot that jumper or pass the ball. So he has to be my starter because just a huge heart, and you know, it's just something about Isaiah. I think if you go into a battle with Isaiah, you're gonna come out winning. Okay. Now, number 2, my shooting guard. I'm sorry, is Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Kobe Bean.
Kobe Bean Bryant. Yes.
Just because his dad was a jelly bean.
We can go there. Yeah. He likes candy, but anyway, Kobe Bryant, because he's so close to Jordan, but he's not Jordan. You know what I mean? He can do pretty much everything that Jordan could do on the floor. He's even created that fadeaway shot. Now he's famous for that now. But he has a will to win that's just so huge. He can do anything on the court, basically. Now he is a ball hog, but he's a ball hog with 5 championship rings, okay? So that's my shooting guard. My small forward is Scottie Pippen. Now, Scottie Pippen, there would be no Jordan without Pippen, and there would be no Pippen without Jordan. However, when Jordan left, Pippen had the team by the throats, meaning that he controlled what was going on in the team. They made the conference finals without Jordan, with Pippen. They didn't win, but Pippen put up big numbers. He did everything out there. He rebounded when they needed him to rebound. He took the three-point shot and hit it when they needed him to do that. He did everything. He ran point. He ran like maybe 2 or 3 positions out there, you know, when Jordan left.
He was a utility man.
Yes, he was a great utility man.
Couldn't put him everywhere.
He was Robin. He was Batman and Robin when Jordan
for
left.
for 1.5 seasons.
Hey, okay. Jordan came back. They did it again. Okay, Tim Duncan is my power forward. What they call them, fundamentals. He still uses that backboard to this day. He's a winner. Very hard to guard, deceptively strong. You know, he's not the most athletic player. That's why he's on my second team. However, he's what you want in a power forward. Okay, his jumper has gotten better as the years have rolled on too. But inside, he's unstoppable. He makes the right plays. He's a very what I want to say brainy, sound player. You know, he thinks things through, and he's a winner. Like I said before, he's on his way to 5 rings basically. So he's going to be my power forward. And last but not least, my center is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Hakeem the Dream had more moves than a point guard when he was on that post, and he had a jumper. Great rebounder, great shot blocker, and he was a winner. He won 2 championship rings, almost won in college also.
Yeah,
I
ran
just thought
into
he was
the Wolfpack in college.
He did run into the Wolfpack, but I thought his footwork was great. You know, he played soccer. And
this is from Nigeria. Yes.
So that's why his footwork was so good. So that's why he's my second team center.
Now, my big qualm with you on that list are Kobe Bryant and Scottie Pippen. Personally, Kobe Bryant is not a shooting guard. And secondly, the ball hog thing, I take away a lot from him because of that, especially toward the end of his career, where his teammates would really get upset with him when, even though they would win some of those games where he would score 50 points, they would lose a few games because he'd score 50 points and they'd start triple teaming him, and he just wouldn't want to pass the ball.
Well, that's why he's on my second team.
And
but Kobe is a shooting guard. He's not a small forward, by no means. Now, he could possibly play that position, but shooting guard was his natural position.
All right. Well, Scottie Pippen, my opinion on Scottie Pippen is that even though he did take the team to the conference finals in 1994, he was never going to win a championship against the Houston Rockets because that was the Rockets' year. And even if they had gotten past the Knicks that season. And plus, when you think about it, he needed Jordan just as much as Jordan needed Pippen. Because Pippen, he could not, like, after that Bulls team broke up and he went to the Blazers, they had some success, but he was not the same player without him. And he was coming off of the bench at the end of his career, and it just seemed really out of place for him. I remember that.
Okay. Well, let's move on to, because we're not going to agree on that. Let's move on to your
Our
first
starting,
team.
our starting five.
Yes.
Now, my starting five, I'm going to start off with my center, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. I mean, what can you say about him? 100 points in a game, the only time in NBA history. When he retired, he was the all-time leader in rebounds and scoring. Probably in shot blocking too, but they didn't keep stats of that back then.
Right.
He was the most dominant player in NBA history. He was just so difficult to defend that all you could do was you could just hope to contain him. He was a 7-foot athlete. He was a man who could pass the ball from inside. He could drive it. He wasn't the best free throw shooter, admittedly. That was the one weakness in his game. But like, if you got the ball to him in the post, it was going in the net. And if you missed a shot and he was around the bucket, he was going to get the rebound. No questions asked. Now my power forward is Bill Russell, the only man who could really contain Wilt when Wilt was at his peak. Bill Russell won 11 championships. He was the captain of the Boston Celtics. He was a leader. His teammates loved him, and he made them better, and he was such an amazing defender. He could rebound. He could block shots. He could anticipate. He could steal the ball. He could run the fast break. And he could dunk it at a time when that was very uncommon. And he was undersized for a five at the time, which is what he played. But I put him at power forward because you can't really go wrong with Wilt. Still, at the same time, I had to give some respect to the man who could hold him back, and that was Bill Russell.
Okay.
Now, for small forward, I've got Larry Bird. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. Yes, Larry Bird was not the greatest athlete to ever play the game. But I'll tell you this. If there was anybody who hated to lose more than Larry Bird in the history of the NBA, I'd like you to find him for me. Because that man would beat the crap out of anybody who played against him who was going to stop him from winning. Now, he was a dirty player, I'll admit that. And that, I think, is part of the reason why I put him on this list, is because he would hurt you physically if you got in his way.
Well, you might as well put Bill Laimbeer on your list then.
No, because Bill Laimbeer just wasn't that talented. He did not have the kind of talent that Larry Bird had. Larry Bird, he resorted to that as an absolute last resort.
Okay.
Now, Larry Bird, though, he had talent. He could shoot. He could help out on the defense. He could rebound. He could pass the ball. He made his teammates better. And his teammates loved him because he had that drive to win. Now, at shooting guard, I got Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is probably the best player in NBA history. He started out as kind of a ball hog, and then Doug Collins made him a point guard and made him think more about the team. And as he got Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and John Paxson, he became more of a team-oriented guy. And he decided, look, I'm going to win championships if I get my teammates the ball, if I use my shot to set them up. And there was no way you could defend him one-on-one in any way, shape, or form. You had to get somebody to help out. He was a man who essentially necessitated trap defenses, like the one that Chuck Daly did with the Detroit Pistons, or one that the New York Knicks used under Pat Riley.
Okay.
They needed to invent that because of him.
Okay.
And for point guard, I've got John Stockton. Okay, John Stockton did not win a single NBA championship, but that was not his fault. The man is the all-time leader in assists and steals, and he was 6'1". Think about all the things that he did. He averaged a double-double. He was one of the top players year in and year out in the NBA. And he was so undersized that people underestimated him time and time again, even though he played for almost 20 years. And you cannot take away from how much heart this guy had. He had speed. Because of his undersize, he could poke the ball away in situations and in the clutch, and he could hit the big shot toward the end of the game. He had that three-point shot, and he was just amazing.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let me go into my point guard for my number one team. I'm going to say Magic Johnson. 6'9", great facilitator, natural point guard, great passer, winner. He brought Showtime to LA. I mean, the guy is 6'9", running point guard, and looking like he's 5'9", running point guard. The way he can move, the way he can see who was open and who wasn't open.
It was a wonder he didn't blow out his back.
Of course, yes, you're right. But the guy could do everything good. He could also rebound. He was decent with his steals. Wasn't the best defender, but he didn't get killed out there either as being a defender. Great help defender though. You know, I would have to put Magic on my team if I was starting a team because he was just that good to me. Now my shooting guard, Michael Jordan. You pretty much said everything. 5-time MVP. He won 6 MVPs in the NBA championship. Won 6 rings. Countless scoring titles. Has been on the all defensive team, I believe. I want to say 10 years. I mean, the guy just does everything. And he changed the way marketing is in the NBA. David Stern marketed one player. That's the first time that's ever happened in the NBA, and that was Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So, you know, Michael Jordan, he speaks for himself. You know, Air Jordans, okay? I got some Air Jordans on right now.
No, you don't.
Hey, they don't know that. Okay. Now my shooting forward, my small forward, I always say shooting forward. My small forward is none other than LeBron James out of Akron, Ohio. The Phenom. Now, I wouldn't have said this 2 years ago, but, you know, I've just seen so much from this guy the last 2 or 3 years. You know, I'm now one of the witnesses, I guess. he's really good. I mean, I think he's the 3rd best player to ever play the game, behind, of course, Michael Jordan and then Kobe Bryant. LeBron, he's finally figured out. He's finally matured, and he's finally figured out how to beat his opponent. He's so strong, for one thing. So now he's posting up more and able to get his shot off there and score. His three-point shot has gotten a lot better. He's always been a great passer. So he's putting all this together. And also his leadership skills have gotten a lot better. So he's putting all these things together. Great rebounder too, by the way. He's putting all these things together and coming up with a complete ensemble of LeBron James. This is what we were wanting to see 4 or 5 years ago. You know, he started off kind of late, you know, but he's maturing into the best player in the league. He is the best player in the league. Okay, now my let's see, my power forward, and I'm gonna get some tweets, emails, all types of negative energy on this, but it's Kevin Garnett. Now Kevin Garnett. Now you talked about Larry Bird. I agree with everything you said about Larry Bird. He was tenacious. He wanted to win. You couldn't find a better competitor. But I have to go with Kevin Garnett because when Kevin Garnett came into the league, he was just a little boy. He was 18 years old. But he didn't dominate, but he held his own. He held his own in the league. He was very productive. He was pretty much doing the same thing then as he was doing now. And he maintained that consistency throughout his career. Also, he's more athletic than a Larry Bird or a Bill Russell. I think you put Larry Bird in a different position. I think you put him at small forward.
Yes.
And that's a terrible position for Larry Bird. He would get killed trying to guard somebody. And that's my point exactly. Garnett is more athletic, and his footwork is better. As far as, well, it's faster. I'm not going to say it's better. It's faster. So he could guard more people. He was more athletic. He could rebound also, has a decent jumper, great shot blocker. Larry Bird wasn't blocking any shots. So that's why I put him as my starting power forward. And that's why Tim Duncan didn't make that, because he wasn't as athletic as Kevin Garnett. And last but not least, Wilt Chamberlain, my center.
Yes.
Wilt is still the Big Dipper. That was another nickname for him.
Scored on and off the field.
He dominated, yes, he did.
On the court.
Yeah, 20,000.
Yes,
I had to give him a high five for that one.
Yes.
But, you know, he used to be a Harlem Globetrotter too, by the way. But Wilt is still, he couldn't be stopped. He dominated the NBA. You know, every year that he played, he dominated the NBA. He dominated Bill Russell. Now, Bill Russell has more rings, but Wilt the Stilt speaks for himself.
Oh yeah. My big issue with that is Kevin Garnett. Really?
I know.
Because like, here's the thing: Kevin Garnett had all those off seasons toward the end of his time with Minnesota because he didn't have Stephon Marbury anymore and feeding him the ball.
He still put up his numbers, though, I bet.
He had good numbers, but he wasn't like an elite player. He wouldn't be in my top
Kevin
five
Garnett was
because
not an
of
elite
those.
player? Back
No,
then, even?
I meant like he wasn't an elite top 5 all time player. He was an elite player for that era. And with LeBron James, I'd really be hesitant about that because the era that he's playing in, you don't see the kind of defense that you saw back in the day.
Man, you put LeBron in any type of arena, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
I
90s,
disagree with that.
he's going to dominate.
I really
Look how
disagree
big
with
he is and how athletic he is.
Yeah, but
He would
like
dominate
if,
on the
if he
gridiron.
had to deal with the defenses of the bad boys, he would have folded.
Oh my goodness. Okay. With that being said, that concludes our show, Opinions Are Like, the second edition of Opinions Are Like. Now, if you have some opinions, you can email us at fourthkey@yahoo.com or leave a message at fourthkey.com, the website. Also, do not forget to check out Cletus's NBA Finals pick at fourthkey.com/blogs.
And stay tuned for our next episode where we count down our top 5 superhero movies of all time.
I'm going to kill him on that one too, folks. See you guys later.
Bye.